Something big just happened for Tesla. I looked at the stock this morning and I said, holy smokes, what's happening? The stock is up again, 8% this time. And if you like seeing Tesla stock being up 8%, make sure to click that like button and subscribe.
Elon is the second king of the world, or maybe even the first. But I just want to point out, this is nothing yet, right? It's beautiful. If you still need to buy, continue buying, but this is nothing yet. Keep on going.
This is going to be unbelievably positive. And we are in a dream scenario from a Tesla investor's point of view. I feel like I'm going to wake up from this dream. It's just almost too good to be true. Yet here we are. Buckle up, motherfuckers. This is just the beginning.
Hi everyone, JJ here. Welcome back. Well, yes, we're going to check in on the Tesla stock pumpers, the promoters, the influencers, and see what they're saying about the recent jump after the election, after Trump was elected. What are they saying about Elon and Trump? What are they saying about Tesla stock, Tesla company? Let's check in. Let's see what they've got to say, and I'll react to it.
I truly believe no one, at least no one in the media, not a single analyst, understands even close to the scale of the massive positive transformation that Tesla the company is about to undergo. It feels like a dream. Everything that could go right is going right.
But the big thing, the reason that this stock, I believe it's $1 trillion of value unlocked when it comes to the AI piece, because when you look at Trump now, this is going to give the highway, the Autobahn, for autonomous. I think he is going to fast track autonomous, FSD. That is very bullish for Tesla.
Okay, that's Dan Ives, one of the analysts, the very bullish analyst on tech, bullish on Tesla, bullish on AI. He said $1 trillion of value pretty soon. And so all of these Tesla promoters, pumpers, including him, are very bullish now on what's going to happen to the stock. Let's see what else I've got to say. There's a few of them here. I've got a cross-section of these pumpers.
But is there a chance for Tesla to go to $100,000 a share long term? Probably not, but $10,000 a share is an easy reach. And at $400 a share, or $350, $10,000 looks pretty good.
The market's fucking ripping right now. Like it's up 10%.
It keeps going every day.
Yeah.
Every time I check it, it's higher and higher, over $1 trillion.
So why do you think that is? The positivity that you feel, Gally, I see in the data, and I feel it in the air. And I think the next 4 years are going to be a very positive thing for not just for Tesla, but for the entire economy.
I really do think he's going to pull the strings, because President Trump gave him so much praise and leverage that he just has this role now. So he will be solicited from all sides to bring ideas forward, to have his thumb on the scale. I do believe now the mood has clearly turned.
What I've noticed about all of these stock promoters is that all support Trump. They followed Elon into Trump. Even some of them were Democrats or in the past, and they all followed Elon. Whatever Elon says, they just seem to follow, and seems to be this sort of cult of Elon, and they all followed Trump, talking about Trump and the election, all in just like Elon was, exactly the same. And obviously they're pretty happy with how it turned out. It could have turned out differently. I think some of them were surprised how it did turn out, but spirits are very high, as you can tell.
We've had a Robotaxi Day. The more general public has understood what's up and what's coming. And the fundamentals are just so strong, both in financials of Tesla and in advancement on all those milestones to come.
Okay, so I'm not sure about the financials being super strong. If you look at the margins, they're still not high. The deliveries aren't growing very fast. So I'm not sure what exactly she's talking about there, energy, but I went through the financials in a earnings video, the last earnings video, and the growth just isn't really there yet. So this is all future. So she's talking about there, but the mood has definitely changed, that's for sure.
In the next 6 months, we'll see new Tesla models produced, at least in Austin. I think they're actually going to be produced in multiple sites. We're going to have the unsupervised FSD in California and in Texas. I think with the new administration, the chances of having a federal acceptance of FSD is much more likely than it ever was. I think lawfare, which has slowed down Elon and Tesla in particular, over the years has been so exaggerated that it is time this is ending, and it has ended. It has actually already ended yesterday.
Good choice of words there, highly exaggerated. From what I see, the lawfare has been exaggerated by Elon. It's definitely had probes and investigations. The past video I did, which I'll put a link to in the description, was about some of the investigations, the probe going on about FSD. Could say that some of this will go away. That remains to be seen, but obviously they're very bullish about that happening with regulation going away, being in the ear of Trump and having some of these regulations being loosened a lot.
The signals are clearly much stronger. This was highly deserved months ago, but I just want to point out this is nothing yet, right? It's beautiful. If you still need to buy, continue buying, but this is nothing yet. Keep on going.
Would you say not financial advice? That sounded a lot like direct financial advice to buy Tesla stock and keep on going.
We're heading towards a future where Tesla owns a fleet of 10 million robo-taxis, generating $500 billion a year gross profit. $50,000 a year each in gross profit, $500 billion a year in gross profit. Tesla's gross profit last year was around 20 billion. Maybe that was 2022 was 20 billion. I think it went down last year. So that's a 25x on, when Tesla was riding high. So 25x on $400 a share is $10,000 a share. And that's only 10 million robo-taxis, and the future is bigger than that. And then you have Optimus 10xing that. So, I still think long term, I think there are factors that will prevent it from going this far, but is there a chance for Tesla to go to $100,000 a share long term? Probably not, but $10,000 a share is an easy reach.
Okay, so he's pulled it back from $100,000 a share to an easy $10,000 a share. I must say one thing about the robots. That's the thing that I'm probably most bullish on about Tesla here. The autonomy, I've talked about FSD. I think it'll probably take longer. Elon wants to get that regulation taken away, buddying up to Trump, probably to try and get it happening before it's really ready. I've seen some of the problems in the previous videos that it's having, and it's really not going as well as they might be saying, I don't think. But here, as I said, he's pulling it back from $100,000 a share to an easy $10,000. What do you think about that?
$400 a share or $350, $10,000 looks pretty good.
Certainly some of the regulatory hurdles that Tesla may have faced may be accelerated forward. Maybe they can jump over some of those hurdles a lot easier, potentially.
And look at financial markets. Like that's what I was trying to tell my mom. It's like, okay, like everyone's like debating about how this is going to ruin everything. It's like your retirement's booming today. Like my mom, who like worked her butt off for her savings, and now you're up huge today in the past 3 days because obviously she owns Tesla stock. So and it's just like that makes me so happy. So I'm like I don't know, like the financial, like the truth is kind of like playing out, and it's like this is great for the economy. Like we're literally already seeing the benefits today, and that's like why. And it's so funny that like you look back on it and you're like, just the idea that we were stopping people like Elon Musk from creating so much value for our country and citizens just with like regulation and BS, and all we had to do was like get out of his way, and like the value of SpaceX just doubled overnight, but it's not publicly traded, so no one knows that. The value of Neuralink just 10x'd overnight because nobody's like gonna get in the way of all their trials with some like woke BS. In retrospect, it seems like we were in a dark age, and we've had a massive uncertainty alleviation with the election because Elon potentially supporting the losing candidate would have been a massive headwind, huge uncertainty with that heading into the election. Decisive Trump wins means all that's gone. Then layer two of that is all the potential, Elon not getting paid his stock. That's the reason why we didn't invest in XAI. Cybercab needing FSD regulation, but the government hating him, so them stopping it even with the good safety data. All these things have been gone. And so now it feels like it's not even about what's going to help Tesla or Elon. It's about what's not in his way and the uncertainty being gone. And I feel like I'm more bullish than I've ever been. No one's like Elon, and no one's like Tesla.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of this is to say that the positivity that you feel, Gally, I see in the data, and I feel it in the air. And I think the next 4 years are going to be a very positive thing for not just for Tesla, but for the entire economy.
I don't know what data he's talking about. They're seeing it in the data, but it seems to me what they're talking about here is the Trump election being won, and they're assuming that regulation will go away and Elon will be allowed to do exactly what he wants because he's got the ear of the president. So there's a feeling of optimism from these people that there'll be no barriers. And of course, the stock jumped straight away and it's gone up a lot. So they're obviously feeling pretty high about that at the moment.
You know, so like where my head goes is like, okay, what are the developments going to be like for self-driving vehicles and the regulations? What are the regulations and developments going to be like for humanoid robots, right? For the onshoring of electric vehicles, the onshoring of the manufacturing of the supply chain for electric vehicles, the rules and tariffs against Chinese companies, right? And being sort of this America First kind of platform that Trump has been talking about since he's been running for president, that's trying to really make it to incentivize companies to come to America. And what does that do for job creation and individual wealth? You know, if Elon gets his way with the government and he's able to Twitter it and he's able to get rid of 80% of federal employees, let's say,
80% of federal employees, getting rid of 80%, that seems pretty high that he'd be able to do that.
And the government becomes 10 times more responsive and more effective and more efficient. And now that Congress and the Supreme Court are more right-leaning versus the last few years, which gives Trump, he has a mandate, right, to get his platform done, which is very pro-business. What does that mean for just for the stock market in general, right? I feel like there's so many tailwinds that have stacked up on each other. In addition to like Tesla specifically, they're about to release their more affordable vehicle. They're about to come out with unsupervised self-driving. They're about to start building the bot for in-house use cases.
I think that's possible. The bot for in-house use cases, I think we possibly could see that in maybe the next 6 months or so. Not just Tesla, but other companies. I'll be making videos about humanoid robots. It's one thing that I am keen on and fairly bullish on that they will actually work. I've made videos about that before, or at least one video. I'll make more about that. So we'll have to see how Tesla goes on that. But as I said, FSD, not so much. The timelines he's talking about, he says they're about to. I mean, I don't know what that means. Elon said in the We Robot event, he gave timelines, but he said he's optimistic on those. So they're just feeling very optimistic at the moment, obviously.
There's so many tailwinds that have stacked up, and it all kind of suddenly happened with the election.
Now, if you've been to my channel before, you've noticed that it's become more focused on Elon and Tesla. He's absolutely at the center of government now, so more and more influence on American and world life, really. That's why this channel has been focusing on that. I do have another channel with more variety about stocks and investors, stock chat shows. I'll put a link in the description to that if you are interested in other things as well.
So if he has partnered with Trump, by default, if Elon is allowed to do what he needs to do within the bounds of the law, right? We need to make sure that all the things he's doing are actually legal, right?
That's a good point, because being so close to the president now, Elon likes to bend the rules. And so will all these things be legal that he does? That will have to be watched. He'll have to have some accountability. Who's going to do that? I mean, taking away these regulations, it does say that it could lead to some sort of corruption. Would these people care about that? Or will they just cheerlead Elon as he goes about his business, sweeping away needed regulations in some cases? There are lives at stake here when it comes to FSD. We'll have to see what happens. It is going to be fascinating to see how much Elon can lean on Trump to get things done and to sweep away regulations, or whether there'll be some pushback from other areas, some other people in the government.
Then in theory, we'll get some of the best, if not the best results the United States has ever seen from a government execution perspective.
By removing the credits, the 7,500, that's going to give a much more even playing field. I mean, Tesla has a scale and scope. They're going to be hugely advantaged there versus the Detroit stalwarts. So that's bullish there in terms of giving them that availability and I think option, you know, to ultimately they could still cut prices more. But the big thing, the reason that this stock, I believe it's $1 trillion of value unlocked when it comes to the AI piece, because when you look at Trump now, this is going to give the highway, the Autobahn, for autonomous. I think
So he's implying another trillion soon. So it's already at $1 trillion in this latest jump in the stock. So he's implying $2 trillion market cap fairly soon with Tesla stock here.
he is going to fast track autonomous FSD. That is very bullish for Tesla. And it comes down to for Musk, one of the best strategic bets he ever made was ultimately this bet on Trump.
The Biden-Harris administration is extremely corrupt. They've been actively hostile toward Elon Musk, weaponized the Justice Department and various arms and branches of the government to slow and hinder Elon Musk and his companies.
Okay, that's debatable what he's saying there, that's actually true. That's what Elon's been saying, and these people just go along with anything Elon says, parrot what he says, especially this guy, Stephen Mark Ryan. He just has never says a critical word about Elon, even though there's some obvious things to be critical of. Elon reposts his tweets, so indirectly he gets paid from Elon in that way.
I don't actually believe that Trump's going to fast-track approval of autonomous vehicles, but I do think it's possible. In fact, it's inevitable. He won't get in the way, which can't be said for the current administration, who've gone to extreme lengths to slow Elon Musk, to fuck him financially. It's been embarrassing.
Is the technology ready?
I think the technology is not necessarily ready today in its current form, but it's going to a point that this is ultimately going to be, when I look at autonomous and FSD, it's $1 trillion incremental valuation. You look at cyber cabs, you could ultimately see 2026, 2027 initiatives get fast tracked. Tesla, Musk is the big winner in this, call it Trump sweepstakes, but I believe he'll be an unofficial whisperer. I think he'll have a significant influence within the White House.
It seems to be already the case. There's reports of Elon Musk being at Mar-a-Lago in the days after the election, obviously advising or consulting there, even though he's got no official position. There has been news reports of him being there, and what Trump has been saying in public with his initial speeches. It sounds very much like Elon, so it does seem that he is whispering in Trump's ear, or more so laying out an agenda, more than a concept of a plan. Elon definitely wants to get some things done that benefit Tesla and his companies, as well as America, maybe in his own way.
And that's why this is going to be known as probably the best strategic bet that Musk ever made in terms of betting on Trump. And I think, this is something that is just starting to play out in terms of this Trump-Musk sort of alliance.
You are not ready for the scale, speed, and impact of this enduring transformation. Musk responds, this will be next level.
So this is what I was talking about, one of Stephen Mark Ryan's posts on X, and Elon responding to it, interacting with it, which brings a lot of traffic, indirectly paying these influencers, these people, just by interacting. So there's a blurred line about being paid in that way, because there's ad revenue on traffic that Elon brings to whoever he wants to on X.
This is the best case scenario. I just can't believe how well things are set up. Number one, the United States is going to enter an era of economic prosperity. This is going to cause people who today can barely afford groceries, who are feeling the pinch, who've put off the purchase of a new vehicle or other major expenditures, to have the means and confidence to make that big ticket purchase, e.g. buy themselves a new vehicle. And if they've got the budget, a little over $40,000, and they've got a brain, the only logical choice is a Tesla. The only other choice consumers have that's long-term sustainable, because the companies producing them aren't going bankrupt, made in China. But if it's not cost competitive for these companies to produce vehicles in China and sell them to the US, Tesla has no sustainable competition whatsoever. Unlike the actively hostile Biden-Harris administration, a Trump admin will at least be fair and reasonable when dealing with Tesla, as opposed to actively hostile. This is a big deal.
I assume what he means here by being fair and reasonable is being very pro-Elon, being very pro-Tesla, and helping with regulations, deregulating to get things moving for Elon and at Tesla and at SpaceX and his other companies too.
As Musk has pointed out, the amount of regulation right now feels like everyone is tied down with 1,000 little strings. Getting shit done is embarrassingly slow. A fast-moving, fast-growing company like Tesla is often held up by red tape, bureaucracy, unnecessary regulation. Deregulation means removing roadblocks, meaning Tesla can get shit done faster. Why Tesla will thrive under Trump? It's a Trump-Elon bromance. They have each other's ear, and most importantly, respect. Trump recognizes Elon has a massive brain and is incredibly capable. Elon recognizes that Trump genuinely wants to do what's in the best interest of the United States.
These two figures have massive egos, so it's going to be interesting to see if these two clash in the end. They both want something from each other. It's working at the moment, but it's early days. What will happen to that relationship as we go along?
This is going to be unbelievably positive. And we are in a dream scenario from a Tesla investor's point of view. I feel like I'm going to wake up from this dream. It's just almost too good to be true. Yet here we are. Buckle up, motherfuckers. The next half decade is going to be epic.
Something big just happened for Tesla. There's a major shift happening right now to Tesla stocks.
Okay, this guy's over the top, very excited on purpose to get his audience excited. If you look down at the bottom, it says millionaire serial entrepreneur. That's purposeful saying that. People don't necessarily who are millionaires want to shout about it. There's to be a purpose for that, and it's to convince his audience that he knows what he's talking about.
So many things are happening. There's so much news. This video you will definitely want to watch in full. And if you like seeing Tesla stock being up 8%, make sure to click that like button and subscribe. And Tesla stock is now trading at $1 trillion market valuation. We are only a 33% increase away from hitting a new all-time high, which is inevitable. It's just a matter of time. It's been 2 years since we hit a $1 trillion valuation, 50% in terms of an increase in about 12 days of trading. I see every single Tesla bull celebrating all of this. Some bulls seem to be...
A lot of emotion going on here, you'll notice, from investors. Warren Buffett has often said that, or Charlie Munger said that emotion doesn't belong in investing, or to try and keep it out. You can see ramping up the emotion here as the stock flies higher. It's all part of the media, the influencing here, getting people excited.
Flabbergasted that it's finally happening. My favorite part of all of this is that Tesla stock is about 50% up since Fred Lambert from Electric sold his Tesla shares. Good timing.
Okay, that's Fred Lambert from Electric, who has gone against Elon lately and been not very bullish about the stock at all. Changed his mind. He, in the early days, or not so long ago, he was one of these people, an influencer, and he's changed his tune lately, as many people have seen Elon sort of telling lies or doing things that aren't really above board the way that they see it. But so these people have turned against Fred in a big way lately too.
Tesla stock is not stopping this rally. I personally don't really care much about year-to-date performances, but right now already we are actually outperforming S&P 500, which is up about 26.5%, but Tesla stock is already up 29% year-to-date, so a big shout out goes to everyone being in Tesla stock, outperforming the market year-to-date. And as a long-term investor, I know that Tesla stock is going to at least $1,000 per share, and then higher than that, of course. It's just all a matter of time. And then we are seeing some massive Tesla stock price target increases, not just $5, $10. No. CFRA research raises Tesla stock price target to $375, up from $265.
So analysts tend to follow the share price up. The first of the Wall Street analysts are changing their tune on Tesla stock now after the election as well, raising the price targets, and the Tesla influencers being very excited about that and helping to push it even higher if they can.
America increased their price target for Tesla stock to $350, up from the previous $265. No one cares if an analyst increases his price target by $10, but this is huge. These guys are increasing their price targets by about $100, very roughly speaking. What you're seeing here is a major shift of analysts, research firms saying, oh, FSD, we don't really believe in that, to now, oh, yeah, it's obvious. It's going to happen. So, yeah, we need to increase our price targets because regulation should be more favorable.
So we'll have to see if that happens, if regulation is more favorable, if Elon has his thumb on the scale there. Too much of his thumb on the scale would mean corruption. Does anybody care? Do these people care? As I said in the last video, I think it's important to keep Elon accountable for what's going on. He has a big say in the government, it seems he's going to, so we'll have to see what happens. So what do you think? Let me know. Do you agree with any of these people here? Do you think they're being over the top, or will it be a clear run for Elon and Tesla in the coming months and years as Trump takes power and Elon's right there in his ear? It is going to be fascinating. I'm going to keep reporting on it, keeping accountability, as well as looking at what these kinds of influencers, these kinds of pumpers are saying as well over time. So let me know in the comments what you think of what you've seen here. And right now on the screen, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to put a link to a related video. Go and see that now if you haven't already, and a subscribe link. Do subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of content in the future. Thanks to everybody for watching today, and I'll see you in the next one.